This beautiful woman in a red dress is a Russian spy. The old man in front of her is her target tonight. Having received professional training, she can pay any price in order to obtain information, including own body. She must lose her shame and self-esteem at this moment. The only thing she has to do is to use whatever means to achieve her goal. Today's movie, Red Sparrow, released on 2018. Her name is Nika, and once she was a glamorous ballet dancer on the stage. She is always at the center of the stage. She should have had a great future. But because of her partner's mistake, she broke her leg on the spot. Although she could resume walking after surgery, she could never go on stage. To make matters worse, the apartment where she and her seriously ill mother lived was provided by the theater. Now the theater is taking the house away. With the high cost of her mother's medical care, Nika's life went from heaven to hell. Just when she was desperate for the future, the uncle who hadn't seen her since her father passed away many years ago found her home. He offered to help Nika and brought the truth with him. The stage accident was not an accident. The male partner hooked up with another dancer. In order to let his girlfriend completely replace Nika's position, he deliberately created this accident. And it changed Nika's life forever. In a rage, Nika decided to take revenge. Although at present she needs crutches to walk. But it didn't affect her to beat these two malicious people. The two who exercised in the dressing room were badly battered. Back home, her mother collapsed in the bathroom unattended. The original nanny was hired by the theater, and now the theater won't continue to pay for it. The nanny ruthlessly left her mother with no mobility. Nika has no choice but to turn to her uncle, who works for the Russian intelligence service. Uncle said that as long as Nika helped him seduce others and steal information, her mother will continue to receive the best medical treatment and care. The pressure of life forced Nika to agree. According to Uncle's instructions, Nika came to the designated place, dressed in the designated clothes and painted with delicate makeup. In her mind, all she had to do was get close to the person, find a chance to change his cell phone for eavesdropping. Then the mission would be successfully completed. As expected, Nika's outstanding temperament soon attracted the attention of the target person. In a few words, the man wanted to take her back to the hotel, even trying to forcibly invade Nika. Until then, the killer outside arrived and killed the old man. Nika, who was experiencing a murder for the first time. She got dressed in a panic and was taken away by the killer on a motorcycle. She never thought that things would turn out like this. The intelligent Nika also realized that she had been cheated by her uncle. It is as expected that her uncle gave her two choices. First, join the intelligence agency and become a spy. Second, killed as an eyewitness. Nika had no choice and was forced to join the organization, knowing that her daughter would be away for a while. Her mother was keenly aware that her uncle must have done something to her. She told Nika not to put everything in. After a tearful goodbye to her mother, Nika was sent to an spy training school. Here, she was not allowed to reveal her real name. And Nika's code name here is Red Sparrow. Here, they not only need daily training running, shooting, lock-picking, and other necessary skills. They also learn to study human desires and weaknesses. The ultimate goal of these girls is to be trained into excellent erotic spies. So they need to watch pornographic videos every day, even strip in public and seduce each other. They are all told that your body belongs to the organization. Every girl must learn to sacrifice her body for her goal, in order to destroy everyone's shame and self-esteem. The girls are also asked to serve active duty soldiers. In the sense of organization, they just need to be a machine without emotion. A long time of unconventional training makes many people mentally collapse. With her strong will, Nika persisted to the end and was appreciated by the teachers. As the best in the organization, Nika soon had her first assignment. Her uncle told her about an American spy named John. He had been infiltrating Russia for a long time, although he was discovered and deported later. But the informant he left behind in Russia was never found. The only thing the organization knows is that the informant is a senior Russian official. In order to uncover this man as soon as possible, all Nika has to do is approach John as an ordinary person and find out the identity of the informant. Nika arrived in the United States with a new identity. The roommate assigned to her, Lola, was also a spy. According to the information provided by the organization, Nika found out that John was particularly fond of blondes. He also likes to swim at a fixed place and time. To get closer to John, Nika dyed her hair blonde. Wearing a sexy swimsuit, she walked past him at the right time. Sure enough, John soon noticed her. The simple greeting was full of cautious probing. Nika did not rashly reveal more information and left by car. In fact, as a professional spy, John has long noticed this beautiful woman who always haunts around him. He found out Nika's real identity through the swimming card information. And her uncle, who was an intelligence officer. Despite his superior's advice to be cautious. But as a single middle-aged man, John was easily hooked. He even tried to bring Nika to his side. In fact, all this was expected by Nika. Because she used her real name when she got her swimming card. At a fancy cocktail party, the two met again with their own thoughts. Nika does not deny her identity as a spy. They test each other during the conversation, but kept their secrets all the time. At night, Nika follows John home. She knew that John exposed himself to protect his informant. Nika kisses him on her own initiative. But at the critical moment, John restrained his desire. Nika didn't insist and left in a hurry. Because her mission was not progressing. Her uncle came to her residence and urged her to speed up the process. Otherwise, the organization would take action against Nika. In desperation, Nika had to tell her roommate's secret to help her muddle through. At the reception, she accidentally saw her roommate staying with senior American officials. She hurried home before her roommate came back. Using superb unlocking skills and found all the information her roommate has obtained over the years. When seeing Nika's extra gains from her mission, Uncle left with great satisfaction. However, what Nika didn't expect was that she had only intended to use her roommate's achievements to procrastinate. But her roommate was killed because she had no use value. The collapsed Nika saw the ruthlessness of the organization. She must plan for herself. John, who tried to convince Nika again and again, became the only person she could talk about her depression. She tells John everything she's been through in the past few months. John told her that if she became his comrade, he would never use extreme methods to treat members like the Russian organization. He would stand up for himself whenever he was needed. After their in-depth communication, Nika was successfully plotted. The next day, John took Nika to meet with his CIA colleagues. Nika confided that the senior American official was a Russian spy. She also made a condition for the US side to remit us $250,000 into the account provided by herself. Then, Nika lied that she was the replacement of her roommate and contacted senior American officials. Successfully obtained the important information needed by the Russian side. Then she secretly switched the disks on the pretext of checking their authenticity. The Russian intelligence agency was fooled around by Nika. As soon as the senior American official went out, he found himself surrounded by American agents. So there was a car accident in panic. At this time, Russian agents were observing the situation not far away and found this anomaly. Nika, who was in charge of the contact, became the main target of suspicion. John found something wrong and was stopped by Nika when he tried to save her. She was taken into a small dark room and tortured. In the face of all kinds of torture, Nika insisted again and again that she had not betrayed the organization. In order to frighten her, a video of her superior being shot appeared on the screen. Despite her great fear, Nika still said she didn't lie. Because only in this way can she completely get rid of the organization. Luckily, the gun at the back of her head was not loaded. Her uncle supervised Nika's execution all the time. He tried to make Nika confess the truth. But Nika always told him with firm eyes that she had not betrayed the organization. In this way, the scarred Nika was finally released. With strong willpower, she finally gritted her teeth and pulled through. This experience also made her completely disappointed to the organization. She also hated her uncle so much. Cover the wound with thick cosmetics and arrange for her to continue to lurk. Seeing Nika come back unharmed, John hugged her tightly with heartache. The The two of them, who had not seen each other for many days, once again practiced together. But when Nika woke up, John was gone. He was strangled by a Russian killer. In order to deceive the killer temporarily, Nika's expression is very calm. Even took the initiative to tie John's hands and feet to the chair. Seeing John being tortured by electric shocks again and again, Nika put all the emotions in her deeply heart. She knows that she can't reveal anything at the moment. Even joined the bloody interrogation. This act completely won the trust of the killer. When Nika asked to torture John by herself, without any hesitation, the killer handed over his weapon. However, the next second, Nika attacked the killer. Although both Nika and John were seriously injured, they killed the killer together. In the hospital, Nika was still convalescing. She met her uncle's superior, the general. Nika looked stunned and was thinking about how to explain all this. The general identified himself as John's informant. It turned out that the general's wife had also dreamed of becoming a dancer. But because he has offended some Russian officials, the organization refused to provide medical assistance when her wife was seriously ill, resulting in her unfortunate death. This forced the general to join the US team. Now, Nika's situation is already very dangerous. The general suggested that Nika expose his true identity and sacrifice himself to protect Nika. In this way, Nika will gain the unconditional trust of the Russians. She will take over his position and continue to be a double agent. He believes that Nika will do better than himself. After saying goodbye to John, who was still sleeping, Nika called her mother and confirmed her safety. Resolutely walked into the embassy and met with the director of the intelligence bureau. Nika said she could reveal the informant's true identity, but she had to regain her freedom. That evening, the US side escorted Nika to the airport. The Russian side took the informant Nika provided in exchange for Nika. John couldn't believe that Nika had finally betrayed himself. But Nika didn't explain too much. And when the Russians took off the informant's hood, this man was not a general, but Nika's uncle. When they looked at each other, Nika's mouth lifted in an imperceptible smile. John understood and shouted that his uncle was their informant. It turns out that all these days, Nika has been secretly planning everything. The cup she took from John's house and secretly put it in Uncle's room. When she agreed to be turned, the $250,000 she offered, it wasn't in her own account either. At the beginning, she just took her uncle's coat and remembered his ID number. With this ID number, she opened a bank account in the name of her uncle, and used this account to receive $250,000 from the United States. All these clues made the uncle unable to defend himself. Now, he already knew his end. Because the Russian side will never let him go easily. A few seconds later, a sniper from the shadows shot and killed Uncle. And Nika returned to Russia to live with her mother. She was awarded the highest honor for uncovering the so-called informant. But there was always a place in Nika's heart that was empty. That will belong to John, who can no longer continue. If you like today's story, please don't forget to click subscribe. See you next time.